This is day 1355 and no sign of life. No sign of life for Richard. So we continue. Um, I've been saying for a long time that Team Find Richard Halliday, we have it all. We have it all. We have enough. That's what all means. We have enough for the law enforcement agencies, the institutions in our country to absolutely get to the bottom of this very, very quickly. There's no doubt in my mind they could answer our questions and give us our son's remains, and give us justice. And, no doubt in my mind with all of the information, all of the evidence. We have three piles of evidence: hard evidence, circumstantial evidence, and irregularities that absolutely point to the perpetrators of this, that can absolutely give us the answers of where our son is and get us our son's remains. Um, so let's see. There's um, a lot going on behind the scenes that is huge. And the people that hurt Richard, this has taken a long time. We're almost at 4 years. It's taken a long time, and we're not going to give up because, we have it all, and the what we're waiting on is what happened, kind of what happened. We're skeptical, but at the same time, we always have hope, and we have hope for our system. We know that our system has corruption. We know it does. What system doesn't, right? But our system, when those wheels of justice get turning, I think, it, and I think it has. I think it has. I'm hoping it has. We received a letter in the mail yesterday morning from Washington, D.C. that was really on a scale to 1 to 10. It was an 11. And, it is clearly the people that hurt Richard, that have for the last, almost 4 years, have had side or help to prevent accountability from happening. That day is over with. That day is over with. And I'm, uh, let's see, optimistic that lots of things are going to change now. And I'm going to explain that to you right now, why I believe that. Let's see if I'm on. Yeah, I see that I'm on. For one, we Team Find Richard Halliday has everything, and because of that, enough. I can't, you don't have 100%, but we have everything, meaning enough. And so we have been organizing that information, and by organizing that information and writing criminal complaints and open records reports, continually, um, putting the pieces together of all the pieces that we have, it has led us to the El Paso Community Foundation, right? The Hunt organization, the Hunt group, which is Bob Moore's group. Bob Moore's group, the El Paso Community Foundation, a charitable organization that's not too charitable, y'all. They're not too charitable. Um, it seems to me, it's looking that they're pretty scammy, that they are, that they are must be related to Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, that they must be related somehow to Danae Katzen, these scam artists, these, it just really seems that they have a high stakes, million billion dollar scam going on called the El Paso Community Foundation. And, they leave a lot of crumbs to figure that out. And it's taken us a while because at the beginning we were naive, thinking that absolutely the military was not in on this fully, right? But El Paso has gripped Fort Bliss, and there is so much nepotism, y'all. I cannot even tell you the shock over and over again of the nepotism, the amount of conflicts of interest. And so, with Washington, D.C. stepping in now, it is that kind of protection we believe is over with. That's what we were told. That's what we were told. So that's really good news. And I just posted up a little bit of the nepotism because Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia uh, is related to Danae Katzen. Okay, they are related, and that means you have the Ortegas related. That means you have Mario Raskin Ortiz, the chief medical examiner, related. You have nepotism, and I'm really, seemingly, apparently, that's with Angela Kachurga, right? This just does not stop. And don't forget that it was Veronica Escobar that was the judge that allowed this. I cannot express enough what a crime it was for the El Paso County Commission, with the judge, Veronica Escobar, who is now the representative, and everything makes sense. Her whole response to us, right? Because she was the judge and she knows, her whole life is about law, right? She knows that no way can she allow the appointment to a judicial office such as the chief medical examiner, making almost $500,000 a year just on that. That's without double dipping, right? That's without any kind of perks, right? To that position, if you're not an American citizen, right? If you're not an American citizen, that's an easy one. Judges in the United States have to be American citizens. That makes sense. The President of the United States has to be a citizen. That makes sense. And for a judge and a judicial office, which is the chief medical examiner, it is absolutely necessary, because that position allows the person to issue subpoenas and warrants, which is a huge, huge power. If I want to look at those academic records of Richard, if I was chief medical examiner, I could just issue out a subpoena, right? Could I just do that? If I had a question about the connection between Richard's remains and Park University, could I issue that subpoena? Because when you're looking at remains and you have questions about those remains, you have this power, this amazing power. So I'm not a lawyer. I would love an explanation, further explanation on that, a discussion on that. I know that in the Texas Constitution, I did look that one up. You have to be, because it's a judicial office, with the power of issuing subpoenas and warrants, you must be an American citizen. And Mario A. Roscone Ortiz is not an American citizen. And Judge Veronica Escobar allowed his appointment. Now, I'm just, they must be close friends or there's nepotism going on. Or there's cartel criminal activity. Because, he's from Chihuahua, Mexico. You know, and why is this such a huge, huge crime? Because now that he is breaking the protection of the Texas Constitution, right? The Texas Constitution, the American Constitution, is a protection. It's a protection of our rights, of justice, right? Of our liberties. And, because it has violated that protection, that means every capital case, because he deals with a lot of capital cases. There's a lot of murders going on right now, a lot of murders. And every capital case that he touches is now botched. Now, how long has that been going on? He was appointed in 2014. So now they have to go back and look at every case. And, some of these criminals might walk. This is huge. This is so big. And that means that the Walmart case is botched. That means the Walmart case is botched because he handled all the remains in the Walmart case. I think just about all of them. And that includes Alexander Gerhard Hofmann Roth, which is very interesting because when you look up the victims for the Walmart, they leave out Alexander Hofmann's picture. Why is that? Why is that? He was shot right in the entrance, right in the head, or was he? Because the whole crime scene now is botched, and it's been botched by other things too. But we cannot trust Mario Raskin Ortiz's his position anymore. When did Alexander Hofmann die? What did he die of? When did David Johnson die? What did he die of? And it goes on and on. This is a huge, huge position. If I'm cartel, if I'm a criminal, if I'm, nepotism, not even really, he's very weak in forensics. Why is he in there then? So, and why does he have conflicts of interest with Angela Kacherga? And why was Angela Kacherga, who I met with twice, especially the second time, she was absolutely not even interested at all in Richard's case. No. Not one bit. Not in the slightest. And, she has conflicts of interest with the medical examiner. So, this is really, really important to understand the nepotism, the amount of conflicts of interest, and that those that hurt Richard absolutely have no protection now because we received the letter from Washington, D.C. And I think that is a huge message. And, we can follow it back to, think about it. We have Dirty Agent Marlon Soto in the CID with his dirty agent Tavita Nusa and Lilani Hart of Dreams Cabaret, right? Convicted criminal, saying that she runs the CID on Fort Bliss, right? Totally having unauthorized access to files. And then her husband, James Courtney Hart, having unbelievable access to files because he sits on the health board of the Veterans Benefits, right? Veteran Benefits Health Board for the VA. His access is just incredible. So they're doing that. And then, of course, you have Nieto, who is the FBI supervisory agent, having conflicts of interest, and his wife, Cynthia Hernandez Nieto, having conflicts of interest with the CID there on Fort Bliss because she's in intelligence on Fort Bliss, and having conflicts of interest with Nadal Baim, the FBI agent, because her husband's FBI, right? And also Bradford Bugado, and that conflict of interest that is in the G3 of the 32nd ADCOM, Richard's command. So you have the FBI, you have intelligence, you have the G3, which is planning, which is in Richard's command. You have the CID, the CID, the CID, and then of course you have DES, Thomas Kane. And it just goes on and on. You have Ann Ogle, which is CYS. And of course, Clem Coward, which is the Major General when all this took place. And then, of course, you have Lieutenant Colonel Roddick. And then you have Donna Martin in the CID, who now is the IG. And their time has come that they don't have the protection of the nepotism of their connections that they had inside the organizations and the agencies, and the wheels of justice are slowly moving. And because you cannot hide the truth. Michael Garrett cannot hide the truth. Ernest Christopher Grant cannot hide the truth. Minnie Grant cannot hide the truth. You have in the police department Jesus Melendez, right, having conflicts of interest with Raul Melendez, who is the son-in-law of David Johnson, who was also shot to death. When was he shot to death? And the Walmart case is botched now. And that's not a mother, Team Find Richard Halliday, trying to get answers. That's Veronica Escobar not doing her due diligence as a judge and allowing a non citizen to be appointed as a chief medical examiner for El Paso. That's what that is. And what are the ramifications for that? Will she get arrested for that? Because what is the connection with Mexico then and the Mexican officials? Because this is binational. What is her connection with the El Paso Community Foundation? And is this connected to that? Well, we know that because of Bob Moore. We know that because of Angela Kachurga. We know that because of Kathleen Gannon being Angela Kachurga's boss and Heather Wilson being the president of UTEP. Yes, the president of UTEP, who has aligned herself in the crimes that have been committed in Richard's case. Yeah. Yeah. What did Richard report? There is not one person that is like, I don't know, everything was just perfect there. No, they all know there's weapons trafficking, ammunition trafficking, human trafficking, child pornography, narcotics trafficking, embezzling, money laundering, dreams cabaret, all kinds of criminal activity, all kinds, child sex trafficking. And they all know it is not a secret. We have been knocking on Major General Sean Bernabe, and now he's Lieutenant General, and we've been knocking on Major General Eisenhower's door. That's the only door that seems to be, thick. It's wide open, but it's thick. And we're like, excuse me, there is security breaches on Fort Bliss. There is criminal activity on Fort Bliss, but it's not enough to knock and tell them about the security breaches, about, girls being brought in during the COVID, about a 14-year-old girl living in the barracks for weeks at a time being pimped out. It's not enough to tell them about all the different, violations that DES Thomas Kane pointed out in the letter and in the JAG and everything, to make any difference. There still is a breach, and we're getting all kinds of intelligence coming out of Fort Bliss because there is a national security threat, a national security risk, a risk for our service members there on Fort Bliss, which means there's a risk for people in El Paso. And what do I'm talking about? There is a grip on Fort Bliss to allow criminal activity to go unchecked. That is what led to Richard being forcibly removed from his barracks room, tortured, murdered, dismembered, and, just scatter his remains in different locations. And we want his remains. And we absolutely want accountability. And now we have this letter from Washington, D.C. that says, thank you. Thank you. We're on this. We are on this. And as we are given the green light to share more, um, we will. We will. We're just, right now, it might compromise what they're doing. So as soon as we're at liberty, and we'll give a little time, we want to see results. We want, why isn't Leilani Hart arrested? Why isn't Christopher Grant arrested? Why isn't Dallas Hart arrested? Right? Look at what happened with the Interpol. And this might have played a big role in what's going on, because Interpol doesn't take it lightly that they were given a bad image that they depend on for facial recognition in order to do their search, do their job, right? At the airports, at the train stations, wherever all the cameras are that we, with our taxpayers' money around the world, taxpayers pay for all these cameras to be up and run, and all these checks cross borders and in airports and everywhere you go. And our law enforcement is giving a faulty picture of Richard so that the facial recognition won't even work. And we found out that they even use those in the morgue, facial recognition. So it is very concerning, and I don't think they took that very, very lightly. I'm sure behind the scenes they were knocking on some doors themselves and saying, what the hell is going on here? What are you giving us? Why are you making us look bad? And we're an international law enforcement agency or organization. So, yeah, it would be interesting to be behind some of these doors, wouldn't it? It really would. And I'm hoping there's going to be I should have made this theme, knocking on doors. I hope that there's a lot of knocking on doors coming up. Yes. And so, say prayers, and but this is really, really good news. And of course, we are careful with good news, but it just can't go on and on and on. It just can't. People change, positions change. We have elections. More and more evidence comes out. People mature and get older and come out with being a witness. They get courage. And so things have changed absolutely in Richard's case. It's not 2020 anymore. It's not 2021 anymore. We're in 2024, and people have learned a lot of lessons from 2020 and 2021. And so they just can't hide behind their protections anymore. It's archaic, and it's been exposed. When you go back and read all through the Walmart mass shooting case, all of the articles, it is so clear. It's so clear that a major crime was perpetrated and it wasn't a lone wolf, that it was organized, it was orchestrated, and that Bob Moore and the El Paso Community Foundation played a role in that because they took down a DA, they plotted and conspired, they risked, they committed crimes. And why did they give Rosa Maria Valdez tens of thousands of dollars? There needs to be a big audit while the baby with the broken bones, whose mother fell on top of him because she was shot and killed, and the father also shot and killed. Why didn't he get any money? I mean, it's a charitable organization that was supposed to give the victims of the Walmart mass shooting money. Why? I mean, that little baby is a total victim. So now, if you know if that baby got money, please tell me. But this is the information that we're getting. And we're getting all kinds of intelligence coming out of Fort Bliss, y'all, that really is a national security threat. We're talking about lack of training and foreigners coming in and oh my goodness. I don't even know if I'm at the liberty to say, because this is our country. And it seems that the 44 four-star generals, it doesn't even seem like it. It is like it. They are not protecting, defending our Constitution, the land, and the people. They are absolutely serving foreign and domestic and foreign enemies. And our military has become more of a drain than a defense with this kind of leadership. And serving corporate interests rather than defending the Constitution. And that's why people are starting to get it, and that's why the numbers are so low. And then they put on top of that, which I think is so sad, because you have people that they try to put criminals in our uniform because they don't have the number of those that honestly want to serve the country to serve their few years, volunteer, because they know there's this stupid COVID mandate, like vaccine mandate, and being very close to medicine for most of my life, everyone knows that one shot doesn't fit everybody. One procedure doesn't fit everybody. People have all kinds of, each individual is an individual and has different health needs. And with all of the information that came out from 2020 and 2021, what is going on in the military, that they're acting with these insane mandates, because I'm hearing a lot about that. A lot about that. And the injuries, like, shouldn't, when you join the military, you don't totally give up all your rights. And I understand all about orders. I understand all about deployments. I understand. But we have leadership right now in these 44 four-star generals and admirals that are up to no good and are hurting our country. And if they were so concerned about the safety and the health of our service members, why are our military installations so broken with so many security breaches? Yeah. So thank you so much, Grace, for coming on. I see you with your love and your prayers, and we really appreciate that. And we are just moving forward. And it just blows, Grace, you've been with us. I met you there at the food lines. We met each other, and I still have your beautiful candle right up there. I'm looking at it, and your little sign. You know that it is just mind-boggling that Danae Katzen and Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, who absolutely is connected to the Walmart case, are have the best way to put it is have conflicts of interest. It's just mind-boggling. And then Jesus Melendez having conflicts of interest with Raul Melendez, also once again connecting Richard's case to the Walmart case. Over and over again, Richard's case is connected to the Walmart case. So Richard's case came first. And people that have been watching for a long, long time, they are just like, wow, wow. That is just mind-blowing. And it's because they had nepotism going on. They had family members, and they were getting protection through their family members that was blocking this investigation, the search of Richard, and also interfering with witnesses, interfering with the search, interfering with the investigation. And, I'm coming on today to tell you that from what we have been told, that has ended now. That has ended. So help me look out for it, for the accountability now. And please let us know when you see a story coming out. They should absolutely mention Richard's name now. We'll see, because the tide has changed. So thank you so much. God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing. Bye-bye.